We also know that we can exchange emails from orbit down to the family. And because of that kind of connection, we actually are able to make what we know today on Earth as IP phone calls, TCP/IP phone calls, or voice over IP phone calls. Using our computers and appropriate phone software, we can actually dial anywhere in the world, and we can call folks and visit with them over the phone.
How is the ISS protected from space debris?
Yeah, space debris, we have to protect debris. And just like the automobile has bumpers front and rear, we have the bumper shield around the space station, so we'll protect the space station from those debris. And also there's the people on the ground who monitors 24/7 the space debris, and if the big debris is coming to our station, they will give us a call and change our altitude or location.
What happens when astronauts get sick in space?
Well, just like on the ground, we may treat any sickness or an illness with medications, or just take some rest, get some rest and fluids and whatnot. In general, in my experience, people don't get sick up here. We don't get introduced to the bacterial infections or the viral infections like you may on Earth. But if somebody were to get sick, or if somebody were to get injured, we also have a lot of medical equipment on board, and we are all trained to use it. So we have the equivalent of a small emergency room here on board to be able to deal with emergency medical situations.
How do astronauts remember all the control sequences for the operation of the ISS?
That's an excellent and most important question. The truth is we have a long training program, and many people tell us a lot of things. It's not possible to remember all the details, but what is possible is that there's a whole army of folks on the ground in many countries that have studied the way we should be reacting to different situations, emergencies as well as dynamic flying when we launch and land as well. And they've studied how to react to those different situations at different steps, and they put them in books. And we follow these procedures step by step by step because we know that what's in the procedures book, many people have studied, and it is correct.
How quickly do astronauts adopt back to Earth's gravity, and do you sometimes inspect objects to float when you return?
Very interesting. Yeah, I flew in the space shuttle 5 years ago, and after I returned to my home, I really actually I could float up to my second floor because it takes quite an effort to go up the ladder. So I really wish on the ground also I can float up and down in my house to save energy.
How do plants grow differently in space?
Well, let's see. Before I answer that question, I'm going to take a second to tell you that we're flying right over you right now. If we had a window out here, we could look out and point the camera out the window and see the Los Angeles area down to San Diego and even farther south into Mexico. So with that, I'll answer your questions. Plants grow basically the same up here as they do in space, except they don't have sunlight. They're not chasing the sun. Instead, they'll chase whatever light source that we put them under or next to, and basically grow toward the light just like they do on Earth. We've grown several kinds of plants here on the space station, and overall they grow very well.
What research is being performed on the ISS now?
One one of the advantages of having a 6-person crew is that you get to do a lot of experiments and a lot of research in different areas. We are doing combustion research, we're doing material science, we're doing the agricultural, we're doing metabolics on us. And a lot of this is in order to not only understand how our bodies behave in general on orbit, but also on Earth, and how to make materials and how to improve life on Earth by doing this kind of pure research up here, as well as the engineering to make those experiments. Also, in order to go farther away, just not in orbit, but maybe to the Moon and to Mars farther away, we would need to understand a lot of these things. What kind of materials do we need to better our spacecraft and better our protection? How do plants behave when we go on long trips in microgravity? That kind of stuff. So the whole spectrum of research.
Okay. This is Jean Brown, Superintendent. Again, I want to thank you all of the members of the crew and NASA for making this event possible here at Vintage. This has been an incredible opportunity, and on behalf of the students and the staff, I wish you well on the remainder of your journey.
Very much, and we wish you well as well, and work hard in school, kids.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all the participants at Vintage School Station. We are now resuming operational audio communications.
This is Mission Control Houston, now with a view back outside the International Space Station, having completed that educational event between crew members on board the station and students on the ground. The crew members, Expedition 22 Commander Jeff Williams and Flight Engineer Suichi Noguchi and TJ Creamer, just answer questions from students gathered at the Vintage Math Science and Technology Magnet School in North Hills, California, which is a NASA Explorer school involved in a educational program at NASA. The 1st through 5th grade students asked their questions of the station residents. Now the crew members will move on to the operational tasks for the day. They're in the afternoon to early evening of their day on board the space station, wrapping up science work as well as their exercise regimen for the day and maintenance activities. They're scheduled to go to sleep about 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Some of the work has been in preparation for the next shuttle mission to the station. We see here on the outside of the space station the Canadarm2, the space station robotic arm. Today the robotics team here on the ground will be operating that arm remotely from Mission Control to position it in a ready position for that shuttle mission. The Space Shuttle Endeavour will be delivering the Tranquility Node 3 and its cupola on the STS-130 mission. And the station robotic arm will be used for those installation procedures of Tranquility and movement of cupola into its final location on Tranquility. The crew members inside the station have also been preparing for